Hey guys, this is another Who to Summon video, and this time around we have three of the most hard choices I've had to make in a very long time. I mean, this hero of Freya and Rafael, in the past I said that they're not must-haves, but I played with these heroes for so long, and every single time I go to play, I say, "Oh my god, I need to use this hero. I need to use it. I need to use these heroes." So I'm gonna change the rating for these as must-haves, but not must-haves that you have to go like super high. Like all these three heroes, you can get them at +0, +1. Some of them, and you'll be able to actually use them to their full potential as long as you give them protection. Like Freya, I've been using her at +1 like forever, and now I was able to finally get her higher. And this guy at +1 is actually disgusting. I've been seeing this footage. It's pretty sick and scary. This guy even +1. And this gal, I use her at +0, so she's freaking amazing all the time. No, all that stuff. But let me start with the explanations. First of all, Freya. Freya, when I started with the first video I made from her, I didn't think that she was like wow, like the most crazy thing ever. I thought that she was amazing at +5, but I did get her at +1 because I was intrigued with the man ability that she has for her awakening, which is this one, which is when clearing red stones, purple heroes restore an additional 10 mana. When clearing purple Naya stones, red hero restores additional 10 mana. Similar effects don't stack. So this ability, I was intrigued by it, and I decided to get her at +1. And ever since that moment, I have been so impressed with this ability to give mana, specifically in red, because red does not have really good ways to actually gain mana. And on the attack, I tested her a lot. She did help out a lot in getting mana, things like that, because I could focus on red stones and also on the purple stones that would actually bring in, and that would fill up my entire freaking team because I would put her on a mono red team. But every single time that I've been trying to set up on defense, well, more than anything, I've been fighting red teams like for days, like ever since Gillian. It's red teams. So every single time that I fight a red team, I noticed that the ones with Freya, they tend to get a lot of mana a lot faster than me. So she has become a key hero on red teams on defense just for the mana. I mean, if you make the mistake of connecting a lot of purple stones when you're doing all your connections, or just everything's connect on itself and it's just everything together, and yeah, it becomes a huge problem, because then you see your opponent filling up with mana almost every freaking turn because you connect red stones and you connect purple stones, and it's a complete mess for you in that situation. So Freya, I decided to use her at +1 on my defense, and it was a freaking upgrade compared to putting other very powerful red heroes on my team, because my team was gaining a lot of mana, something that in defense red does not have very well, but unless you put a freaking Antia on the team, but you can't really put Antia all the time. So Freya does fill the bill at and let me show you the rest of the awakenings. This is pretty amazing, freaking must have awakening here for sure. And same +3. +3 is, I mean, it's actually pretty boring unless you actually want to make Thor do extra damage and things like that, but it's not really like super crazy. However, this +5 is pretty freaking amazing. The overload has especially in some defenses, makes the enemy like so slow, and the defense is able to do so much damage with different combos you can actually use with Freya. But the main thing that you have to focus on Freya is on her +1. You can have her at +1. You can put her on your defense team with red, and you will notice that on your recordings that your red team is gaining a lot of mana a lot faster than before, and that is the missing link to making red teams like even more devastating in this situation. So if you do have a red team and you really want your red team to actually gain a lot of mana, specifically more on defense, she's a definitely huge upgrade at +1. Just make sure to give her a really powerful shield weapon like Rafael's weapon, her own weapon, any weapon that gives her a lot to shield so she can actually survive. She's gonna make a big difference. And on defense, and on the attack, you can actually get a good amount of mana as long as you do the connections correctly. You'll be able to actually get a good amount of mana with her, even at plus freaking 1. That's what I love about this. You have her at plus 1, you're ready to go. She's really powerful in this respect. Now for the next hero, Liu Bu, or Liu, I think it's Liu Bu. Somebody sent me a link of how to pronounce it. I think it's Liu Bu. You have to actually mention him or whatever. But anyway, Liu Bu is an absolute monster. I mean, I'm gonna release his update video a little bit later today to actually show you the footage. That actually, this guy is pretty freaking disgusting. But his plus 1, I think you have to get his plus 1 for sure, because you're gonna get the taunt right off the bat, and you're also gonna have 60% less damage taken. So this is so freaking important, because that's gonna help you have the hero not die on you, especially because he doesn't revive at plus 1. So you're gonna need his plus 1 for sure. If you take the path of Liu Bu, you have to have his plus 1 for sure. This is really freaking powerful. Do take into account that he does have 100% reflection, but if he takes 60% less damage, it's only gonna be 40% reflected. So yeah, don't expect his reflection to do a lot of damage. His other abilities will do a lot of freaking disgusting damage. So very powerful, very scary stuff, guys. In the right team, he's really scary, especially in F4, by the way. And spoiler alert, that we're gonna talk about that in his update video. So his plus 3 is pretty cool. You will be able to get the overheat a lot faster. But honestly, you're a tank. The only thing you really want is to have a hero that gives you enough mana to go off as much as possible and be able to protect the team. So that the plus 1 for sure is, again, you have to have it. Not so much the plus 3 in this situation. The plus 3 is going to help him do more damage for sure. I've seen pretty disgusting fights in this situation with that. And his plus 5, of course, he becomes immortal in this situation, and he gains the life back, and he does insane amounts of damage. It's not even freaking funny. I mean, yeah. But as I said, his plus 1, you have to get his plus 1. You have to get the plus 1. If you get a little bit plus 0, yeah, it's not going to be enough. You really need him to give you a plus 1 for sure. For sure, guys. But this guy's pretty crazy. I'm really impressed by him. Even a plus freaking 1. It's a very similar situation from Mildred, which at plus 1 she's pretty crazy, and also Taryn as well. But he does a lot of damage, guys. A lot of freaking damage. So he's pretty crazy hero for sure. And last but definitely not least, Rafael. I also said that she's not a must-have, but ever since she was released, I have not stopped using Rafael. And when I don't use her, I lose. Pretty much. So that is must-have territory, guys. And the reason why I lose is that she's a shield breaker. And she's the only yellow shield breaker in the entire freaking game. So this means, and this right off the bat, you don't have to awaken or anything. You break shields and that's it. Why I say it's so important to break shields, because if you play a team without her, and you fight a team that produces a bunch of shields, which is pretty much every freaking team right now, creates a bunch of freaking shields, the damage you're going to deal to the target you want to kill, it's not going to be enough. Let's be serious. It's not going to be enough. Because the shield's gonna throw all the damage, even with the stones of a freaking completely weapon awakened Zeus. It's not gonna break through those shields at all. Because remember, shields cuts damage by 50%. So that is gonna be a huge problem for you. All your teams is gonna be completely destroy you in that situation because of the shields. But with Rafael, even at plus freaking 0, I used her for plus freaking 0 for so long. And I just made sure to put her a really powerful shield weapon to make her survive. And right before I'm going to do the really high amounts of damage that yellow does do, I simply activate her before that really high attack. And then I do the high damage attack, and pretty much the enemy is destroyed, especially if you have Arthur and things like that. So yeah, pretty freaking disgusting. So she is the missing piece of every single yellow team in the entire freaking game, because you have to destroy shields, and if you don't destroy shields, you're going to be destroyed. Trust me, trust me. So the beautiful thing about this hero that you are able to, unlike the other two heroes that I mentioned, you're able to have her at plus freaking 0, and she's gonna do the job. That's what I love about her. So, and it's gonna be a lot more cheaper and easier for a lot of people. However, if you do want to upgrade her, her +1 is freaking powerful because it is going to give 30% less damage out to your entire yellow team. And yellow, let's face it, yellow teams tend to be a little squishy, and adding this to it, it makes them a lot more resilient to actually receive damage and things like that. So this is pretty powerful for her, for sure. It's super powerful upgrade. And also, of course, to be able to actually revive for 3 freaking and be immortal for 3 freaking turns is really powerful for sure. So her +1 is definitely a really powerful upgrade, but you really don't need it. You really want her is to destroy shields and survive, and you can do that with a really powerful shield weapon in that situation. The +2 is taking less damage, so that's pretty nice. Her +3, let's be honest, it's not going to be good. You're usually going to have a lot of life steal with your runes, and you're going to gain the life that way. This may take you out of a pinch if you're really dying or really have low life in most of your team, but it's not really like going crazy plus getting the +3. However, this +5, be able to revive your yellow heroes by 100% is useful, because if your user are +0, +1, or whatever, sometimes you do want to revive a dead hero, and he doesn't revive like ever sometimes, because yeah, that's how luck runs in that situation. Sometimes you'll revive all the time, sometimes you won't, or in balance and all that good stuff. And you do have to remember that when you revive heroes, now you're only able to revive that specific hero 2 times. When she was released, you were able to revive them all the time. So that was pretty amazing, but now it's only 2 times because that was too broken. That was definitely too broken, guys. And of course, the ability to make her and 2 heroes that are the heroes that are next to her immune to stun, sleep, and all that good stuff. At +5, she is really freaking amazing in that respect, because you'll be able to actually play around stuns, play around sleep on 2 very key heroes, and of course you will be able to actually break shields all the time, because you're not going to be stunned ever in that situation. So that is a really powerful +5 for sure. However, as I said, if you're not able to summon a lot, she'll be able to help you out at +0 as long as you give her a very powerful shield weapon. If you're really cheap to play or free to play, if you want to actually ascend, well, it's not ascend, refine a weapon, and it has to be the weapon that gives a lot of shields, and you have to get a shield weapon that it has can give protection to a bunch of weak heroes that you have, especially if you're going on the attack. So her, for sure, you have to have a very powerful shield weapon. We're gonna give her +0 for sure. She is a must-have for sure, even at +0. That's what I love about her. Now, let's talk about the 4 stars real quick. For the 4 stars, Dana, Isola, Feilun, these are all amazing heroes. But let's talk about Rafael, so we was talking about that. Dana is one of the very few cleansers in the game. So, if you don't have Valerie, you gonna need Dana for sure. Just because she is one of the very few cleansers for purple in the entire freaking game. She's freaking amazing. Highly recommended for sure. And Vita, she is not a very good hero. I can't recommend you to her. She just gives defense and no damage, and yeah, no, you don't really need this guy for sure. Now, Isola is such a fun hero. I mean, I love Isola so much, it's not even funny. She does a good amount of damage. She hits many times, and if you save the last one, she'll be able to hit pretty much every single turn. So, as a free-to-play red hero, this is a really nice hero to have, really fun hero to have for sure. Feiyun is so freaking powerful. She heals, she gives mana to your team. I mean, she is one of the few 4 stars. I mean, very few heroes in red that gives energy, and as in mana in that situation. So she's really cool to have for sure. Very, very nice hero. And finally, Jormungand, as I said many times before, I love her character design. She is super awesome. She is the #1 hero in the entire freaking game for trash talking. I mean, yeah, she is freaking amazing in that respect. However, as a hero and fighting, I cannot recommend you to use her. defense is not enough. She doesn't do much damage, so nah, not recommended. But she's a really fun hero. I love this hero for sure. And finally, Salome. Salome is a healer. She only does healing, especially for red, and that's it. But that's good, because the thing is that red doesn't have a lot of healers. Only Salome and Bastet, and that's it. So if you want to use a second red team, you're probably going to want to use Salome for the healing, unless you have a lot of shield in that situation. So Salome does have her uses. She's not very powerful, but she does have her uses for sure. Now, which one of the 5 stars, from the 5 stars, I really think that you should get as your number 1 option? It's really hard, guys, because this is the hardest option that I had to, the hardest choice that I've actually had to take in a very long time, because all these heroes are amazing. It doesn't matter which one you choose, they're gonna be useful in that situation. But out of all these heroes, I would say the number 1 option, I would say Rafael. And why do I say Rafael? It's because if you don't have a Liu Bu, you'll be able to do some things in the game without problems. You still have options like Mildred. If you already have Taron, you probably may not need a second or a third taunter. Having 3 taunters is freaking amazing. And this gal over here at +1, she is like game changing on your defense and things like that. But the thing is that you're able to play red without her. That's the main thing in that situation. But Rafael, you can't play yellow without her. You need Rafael to have a successful yellow team in that situation. So I'm gonna say my number 1 option between these 3, which are devastatingly good, is Rafael. Because if you don't have her, you don't have a good yellow team. Period. Even if it's freaking +0, man. If you don't destroy the shields, you're dead. That's it. You're dead. You're not doing anything. You're dead. So Rafael is my number 1 choice in this situation. You just get her at +0 and you won't regret it. Just make sure to give her a very powerful shield weapon. At higher levels at +5, she's an amazing hero on defense, especially with a high level Arthur as well. It's pretty disgusting. So yeah, number 1 option, Rafael for sure. Because if you don't, you're gonna lose with your yellow team, guaranteed. I guarantee it, man. And between these 2, man, as I said, this is a really difficult option. But I'm gonna go with Freya, because I've been using Freya for so long, it's not even funny. When she was released, I didn't pay much attention to her. But ever since, I've been using her over and over and over. And she was offered again, and I ignored that summon because I said I was not gonna summon. But ever since then, I regretted it. So yeah, for sure. And especially now that red teams are like everywhere, Freya at +1, you have to get rid of +1 for this to be to actually be useful. Freya at +1 on defense. It doesn't matter how powerful your team is, she will change your game, and she's an amazing option to have a second red team just for the use of actually giving mana to the team in that situation. So very useful, very powerful hero, super powerful. I mean, so disgusting. And by the way, I forgot to mention that she's one of the very few heroes in red that cleanses. So you have to take that into account as well, because cleansing is important in certain fights. So yeah, that's something that a lot of people ignore and have to remember. She's very powerful hero, very cool. And last, but definitely not least, I mean, the only reason why I choose Liu Bu as the last one is because these 2 other heroes are so useful. But that doesn't mean that Liu Bu is not a hero that you should ignore. He will make waves for sure, especially with so many people have resonance so high in red. Yeah, he's gonna be a hero that's gonna be terrorizing defenses for a very long time. I promise you that. So if you choose Liu Bu, he's definitely an amazing hero, and you won't regret it. I mean, you're not gonna regret not getting any of these heroes specifically. If it were me, I would get Rafael at +0, Liu Bu at +1, and this guy at +1, and that's it. You don't need anything else. You can ignore the other awakenings if you're trying to actually save and all that good stuff. That's what I love about these choices. These 3 choices for so many people is going to be freaking amazing because you just need them at +1, +1, and +0. So that's really awesome, guys, for sure. I really like these choices this time. So for the best 4-star heroes, I mean, for these heroes specifically, I would say Dana for purple. Because purple has a big problem, and that's cleansing. So if you don't have Valerie, you don't have cleansing. Period. So you need Dana in certain fights for sure. And then you're going to use the other purple hero. I don't remember her name right now, which is a fast healer. I'm just going to show you guys. Because I don't use her very much because I already have Valerie. Where are you? Here we go. Caitlyn. You're probably going to use Caitlyn and Dana in the same team. And if you don't, you're probably going to lose. That's why I choose Dana as the number 1 4-star. Because if you don't have Dana, you're probably going to lose your fight because you're probably going to get debuffs and you won't be able to get free from those debuffs. So yeah, she's the number 1 option here for 4 stars. The second 4-star is definitely going to be Feiyun. Feiyun is so freaking versatile. She is freaking amazing. If you can buy her with Bastet, you give so much mana, it's not even funny. She's a really awesome replacement for a bunch of powerful 5 stars that you don't have. So yeah, Feiyun is definitely an amazing option. Highly recommended for sure. And I would say as the third one, I would say that Isla is really fun hero, but if you're free to play, you're definitely going to want to have a hero that hits a bunch of times and is going to do a bunch of connections. So yeah, she's definitely an amazing option to have for sure. And her story is one of the most unique stories in the entire freaking game. It's like a diary, but yeah, and spoiler alert, she is from our time. So that's really freaking amazing. So yeah, very cool stuff, guys, for sure. Alright, guys, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, please leave them in the comments and we'll talk about it. Alright, thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.